University of Nebraska-Lincoln for a historic event, the first Final X. On Saturday night, we're going to have 14 wrestlers vying for 7 spots on the U.S. World Team. At each weight, there's a best 2 out of 3 series. One athlete's a Final X champ and goes to the World Championships in Budapest. The other stays home. We have Olympic and world medalists on our card here, and some real amazing young talents that are making their mark on the international scene. On behalf of Flow Wrestling and USA Wrestling, we welcome to the Final X press conference. A little bit about what we're doing today. Our women will go first, as you see they're lined up here at the table, and then we'll have the men come in. I'll ask each athlete one question, then we'll open up for media questions, and then we'll take some time for one-on-ones. In 45 minutes, we'll switch and we'll have the men come in. We're going to ask each athlete a question in the order in which they're going to be wrestling. So we're going to start with matchup number 2 at 59 kilograms. She was the first to qualify for Final X by winning a silver medal at the 2017 World Championships. An Illinois native who went to King University and won 2 college titles there, Allie Reagan. And we're going to pass these microphones around, okay? Actually, I'll give you mine. Allie, you've made 5 straight world teams and won 2 straight world medals, a level of consistency over time. What do you think are the key factors to be able to perform at the most important times, such as trials and worlds?
The goal is to be a world champ every year since I've made a world team, so this is just the first step being a world champ, so I wouldn't necessarily consider myself consistent until I'm winning back-to-back world titles like a Snyder or a Helen. So until then I might consider myself consistent, but this is the first step to winning that world title. So.
Thank you, Allie. I think we'll just leave this one out of the holder. Okay, next, she qualified for Final X by winning the Freestyle World Team Challenge Tournament. New York native, who was a US OEC resident at Northern Michigan, and she's now in the Army WCAP program, Jenna Burkett. Jenna, you and your opponent have been teammates on junior and senior world teams, and now find yourself at the same weight, wanting the same thing. What do you think can give you an edge in this battle of talented athletes?
Well, like you said, we've been doing this a long time together, so I think tomorrow is a battle of wants. Who wants it more? We've been on a bunch of teams together, and I think that we'll play into a really good matchup. We're very experienced, we know each other, so tomorrow's about having fun. What we do every day, all that hard work, it's going to be showcased tomorrow. So I think it's awesome that we've got some high-level wrestlers, and I hope the crowd enjoys it.
Thank you, Jenna. Our 4th matchup of the night will be at 55 kilograms. She was the first to qualify for Final X in this weight by winning a bronze medal at the 2017 Worlds. An Oklahoma native who won a college national title at OCU, has won medals at age group levels as well, Becca Leathers. Becca, what did you learn about yourself when you won that bronze medal at the World Championships last year that'll help you win Final X this year and move up on the podium the next time that you're at the Worlds?
Really the biggest takeaway I had last year was that I can absolutely compete with anyone in the world. The things that I was doing is working, my process is effective, and that I can just add to it from that point. I mean, that was really my starting point for growth into the start of my potential, and I think I've got a lot left. So, hoping to show up tomorrow.
Thank you, Becca. Her opponent, who reached Final X by winning the Freestyle World Team Challenge Tournament, is a California native, WCWA champ at Missouri Valley, Jakara Winchester. Jakara, you're having the best season of your career this year. What do you think are the key factors to your success coming into your Final X showdown against Becca?
I think that I prepared for this a lot differently. I made a lifestyle change. I changed my diet, I changed my work ethic, and I think all of that will just play into it, and I'm ready to wrestle and make this team.
Thank you, Jakara. Our 3rd women's match is the 6th match of the evening. It's 68 kilograms. She was the first to qualify at this weight class by winning the 2018 U.S. Open. Native of Texas, two-time WCWA champion at Wayland Baptist, Tamara Stock. Tamara, since competing at the Worlds last year, what parts of your game do you feel are really working well coming into Final X?
Hi, you guys. So, I think a few parts that I believe are working well, something that I've been working on since Worlds, is my mental game. I've been working on that consistently, and I feel like it's been changing dramatically, and I'm enjoying seeing those changes, the progress that it's been helping me build.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Next up, she qualified for Final X by winning the Freestyle World Team Challenge Tournament. Native of Missouri and All-American at Missouri Valley, now with Army WCAP, Randy Belts. Randy, you've been a top contender for years, but there are two new things in your life lately. You've joined the Army WCAP and you've moved up in weight. How are these things making a difference for you?
There's a lot more than just two things that have changed, but I think everything that I have changed, like changing weight classes means I'm not really stressed about weight anymore, because I think I was a little bit too big for 60 kilos. And being part of WCAP is just kind of a new environment. I'm now in a freestyle environment, where I was practicing a folk style environment beforehand, so I think this will also help me do better as a freestyle wrestler.
And are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. At this point, we'll take any questions from any of the media out there. Just identify who you are and specifically who you'd like to hear from, and we'll pass the microphone around. So, anybody with a question or two?
I'm doing. It's for Tamara. You said the one thing, or one of the things you've been working on is the mental game and getting better at that. Can you maybe just explain to us more, like what you're working on or how you work on that mental game?
You want to know my secret?
Yes.
I'm seeing a therapist. I didn't want to elaborate on that. It sounds a little cuckoo.
Like a sports psychologist?
Yeah, sports psych.
That
There
sounds
we go.
better.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm seeing a sports psych, and I'm also talking with my coaches a whole lot more about my mental game, and they've just been giving me techniques to use every time I go to competitions. And like one of them is distracting myself by singing a song to myself and not paying attention to what's about to happen on the mat, but just worrying about what I'm bringing into the arena. So yeah, I'm not gonna give you everything, but yeah, there's that. But thank you for that.
Thank you.
Other questions?
This one's for Becca. Now, obviously, a lot of the women on here, the ladies on here, went through the developmental program, and they were cadets and juniors, but I believe you're the youngest one on stage right now. And you come out your first year after being junior, you medal. How do you think that kind of developmental program helped you get to where you are today?
Well, I first got exposed to the developmental program when I was 16 and made the cadet team and the 3 junior world teams after that, and it just really gave me great exposure to high-level athletes, high-level coaching, and what I should expect from a training environment, what I should expect from myself, and every opportunity to achieve those things.
Yeah, I'll continue the training theme that Daniel started, but for Randy and Jenna, it seems like the WCAP is having a good run lately, especially in women's freestyle. Can you talk about how you got first involved with the program and then what they're doing to put so many people in such positions now to make world teams?
Me?
Either one.
Well, you can
I was
say
in broke. I needed to find something that was going to pay me while I wrestled. That's how I ended up in the WCAP program. But I think they've been extremely helpful as far as training too, because they make sure I have a variety of partners, and I'm focusing on one thing at a time. I tend to think too much of everything, and they don't let me do that so much. So they help me focus.
I was first exposed to WCAP while being an athlete at the Olympic Training Center. I don't think this works.
Quick play.
But it's I said in Rochester, it's a great day to be part of Black and Gold, and it's a family, right? We come here, and it's not just I'm an individual, or maybe you got clubs, but they're not with you all the time. My coaches are with me 24/7, and if they're not, my coach Hodges called me up, and so it's the team behind the team mentality, and I really think that's made the difference. And we're soldiers, right? We're soldiers first before we're wrestlers, and I think that's a great mentality. That makes me hungry to want to do well for my country, and this is my job. I take that very seriously, and so all that plays an effect. And as much as we work hard and we play hard and we have fun, so that's what it's all about.
Other questions?
Question for Allie. Jenna's proven herself to be a really formidable competitor. What aspects of her game are you most concerned with, or do you have to be most prepared for?
Obviously, we all know Jen is a great competitor. We're friends. We've been on multiple teams together, like Coach or Gary Abbott said, not Coach Abbott. Yeah, she's definitely very physical, going to bring the heat, and so am I. And I think that it's going to be a great match. But as long as I stick to my game plan and what I'm good at, then I don't really have to worry about what everyone else is bringing to the table. So just worrying about me really is what I'm coming with.
Thanks.
Other questions?
This one's for Jakara. So kind of this whole right side of the table, or I guess left side, depending on what you guys are on. But you guys all kind of changed weights this year. Why did you drop down to 55? You've always been kind of big. Do you just think that was the best weight, or is there any specific reason in mind for going that weight this year?
Actually, I compete usually at 55, but I think the last few teams that I've made, the national team, I made it at 58, but I usually compete at 55, and during the off season, I just don't feel the need to cut down to 55, but since I've made my lifestyle change, and it's easier, I walk around like at 57, 58, so it's easier to make 55. So I think it just made more sense to go 55, and I wanted a really good match, so I think it worked out for the best.
This is for anybody who has an opinion on the matter, but curious what you guys thought about the trials process this year and the Final X process. Becca?
Go for it.
I thought it was really cool. Like, I think it's really cool what it's doing for the sport, how it's trying to bring viewership, and they're making it a really big event, which I think is really fun. I mean, I know that as a female wrestler, we don't get exposed to a press conference and like the kind of big like pomp and circumstance that even the D1 guys get to experience competing at that level. And so, regardless of sitting out, I think that this entire process is just really exciting and fun for the sport.
Anyone else?
I think it's a great opportunity. I've wrestled World Team Trials in the back of like a Palmer Park high school gym in Colorado Springs, so this is a great opportunity for us, and I know I appreciate it. I think of course, after everything, there's going to be little fixes that we can make, and I'm sure we'll all sit down and we'll talk about that sort of thing, but ultimately it's a great opportunity. I was happy that I went to nationals, trials, and then now this. That's just more matches for me, but yeah, it's a great opportunity, and more people are getting involved, and that's exciting. It's an exciting time to be part of wrestling right now.
Other questions?
Oh, Tamara can answer.
Oh, she has a question.
Probably.
I had it answered.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. So I like it. I'm ready to get it over with because this build-up has been intense. I don't know if you've seen my social media, but the email that you all had sent, hey, if you ever get a chance to put in Final X, anything, do it. So I've been going, Final X ready, Final X this, Final X that. I got Final X on the back of my head. I do. I actually have an X in the back of my head. Maya Nelson, thank you very much. So I've been excited. It's the first time this has ever been done, and I thought I could help out by, snazzing it up a bit. So yeah.
Great answer. Anybody else?
Jim Thrall, Matt Focus. Jakara, coming from Oakland, California, what about your story so far? Have you thought about how you're an inspiration to the girls coming up?
I didn't really think too much into that until people started like messaging me and telling me like, oh, I look up to you, like somebody from Oakland, California made it to like the big stage now, which is really nice because not a lot of women specifically have that opportunity to build from Oakland, you know, and I think it's really nice. I'm glad that I'm an inspiration to some people, which makes me fight harder because after reading so many messages like that, it kind of brings me up and lets me know I'm doing the right thing.
Do you have a question?
Yeah. Jenna, you went 62 at the U.S. Open and then decided for the trials you would go down to 59, knowing that Allie's there. What was your thought process behind that and the kind of competition that you're expecting?
You know, you got to go where you weigh. I was wrestling up at 62 and not even weighing 59, so I guess I got my nutrition and diet down too well. So, but it works. You know, I'm going to wrestle where I weigh, and going 62 at nationals, if I rewind, I would still do it again because I just love matches. And if I'm not going to be confident going at any weight class, why am I even wrestling? So yeah, and going 59, and I got a world silver medalist waiting for me. I mean, that's tough competition. That's good. That's why we wrestle. I'm not wrestling to crush somebody and walk through some high school wrestler. I want to wrestle the best. So when I go to the world championships and I get a world title, I've earned it. So you know, yeah.
Other questions? Okay, well, at this point, unless someone has something they want to say over here.
Just when's the seating meeting, Gary?
We don't have that, do we?
I guess we don't need it anymore.
I think you're both seated one in each way, right? There's no seating here. We're going to turn the lights on, and if you'd like to speak to any of the individual athletes, you know, you can move around in the room and have some individual one-on-one talks with the girls. And again, we're real proud of our athletes this week. We got a great card, and we look forward to you coming out to see them wrestle tomorrow. Thanks.